Welcome to the Explainer. The crypto market is sending some seriously mixed signals right now. It's like it's at a total crossroads. You've got Bitcoin staging this huge comeback from a pretty nasty low. But then you look at everything else, the rest of the market is kind of just lagging behind. And as if that's not enough, we just got a landmark decision from the SEC that could literally change the game for everybody. So yeah, let's break down what's happening on November 22nd, 2025.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, a quick snapshot of the market. Then we'll dive deep into Bitcoin's wild recovery. After that, we're tackling the weird divide we're seeing in the altcoin world, breaking down a huge SEC approval, and we'll finish up with what you need to watch next. Let's do it.
All right, first up, let's take the pulse of the market. I'm talking a rapid-fire summary of where things are sitting at this very moment.
So if you look at the total crypto market cap, you'll see it's down just a little bit over the last 24 hours. It's not a huge drop, but it definitely tells you there's still a lot of caution, a lot of nervousness hanging in the air, especially after the rough couple of weeks we've had.
And this is where the story gets really interesting. Bitcoin is totally bucking that trend. It's actually climbing, up over 1% to reclaim that supercritical $84,000 level. Now that is a real sign of strength, especially in such a nervous market.
So what's the big picture here? Well, it's pretty clear we're watching a massive tug-of-war play out. You've got Bitcoin on one side pulling with all its might towards a recovery. But on the other side, the altcoins. And they just aren't following along. It's a really divided landscape out there, and that's what makes this so fascinating.
Okay, let's really zoom in on Bitcoin's recovery because its journey in just the last day has been an absolute roller coaster. We're talking some serious whiplash for anyone watching.
This chart really says it all. You see that massive pink bar? That's the pain of a 24% drop this month alone. Ouch. But then, look, you see that little green shoot? That's the hope that's just sprouted in the last 24 hours. It's a perfect picture of that classic battle between recent pain and immediate optimism. And here's that whiplash in action. Think about this. In a single day, the price just plunged all the way to a 7-month low around $80,500. But then it staged this furious rally, rocketing up $5,000. A $5,000 swing in 24 hours? Man, that is a brutal, brutal ride for any trader out there. So you're probably asking, why the sudden comeback? Well, it looks like it's a mix of three big things. First, we're actually seeing money flow back into crypto again, which is huge. Second, you've got the broader market pretty much betting that the Fed is going to cut interest rates. And when that happens, riskier stuff like crypto starts to look way more attractive. And finally, for all you technical traders out there, this is a big one. Bitcoin bounced hard off that crucial $82,000 support level. That's a massive green flag on the charts.
Okay, so while Bitcoin is fighting its way back, the altcoin market is, well, it's playing a completely different game. It is absolutely not just following Bitcoin's lead this time, and that's creating some really fascinating, almost paradoxical situations.
And check this out. This is a massive, massive signal. For the first time ever, a record 60% of all trading volume on Binance, the biggest exchange in the world, is in altcoins, not Bitcoin, altcoins. It's crystal clear that traders are hunting for opportunities somewhere else, even while Bitcoin tries to get back on its feet. This is a huge shift in focus. Just look at Solana. It's the perfect example of this weird paradox. On one hand, you've got the number of developers building on the network hitting an all-time high. That's fantastic news for its long-term health, right? But then, on the other hand, its price right now and the actual on-chain activity, they're both dropping. It's like the builders have all shown up to the party, but where are all the users? And that raises a really big question for any investor, right? So I want to throw it out to you. What do you think is more important for long-term success? All this developer growth we're seeing, or the price action we're seeing right now? Seriously, I'm curious. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And then you've got the king of the altcoins, Ethereum, and it's really struggling. It's not just that it's hitting a 4-month low against the dollar. What's maybe even more telling is that it's losing ground against Bitcoin. That ETH to BTC ratio, that's such a key indicator of strength in the space. And right now, it's flashing weakness. And then there's XRP, which is just a complete outlier. While one source was calling the rest of the market a bloodbath, XRP somehow managed to post a gain.
But here's the really weird part. It did this even as trading volume completely fell off a cliff. So this isn't some broad market hype. No, this looks like pure, stubborn resilience from its most dedicated holders.
All right, let's shift gears now to a huge piece of news on the regulatory front. And I'm telling you, this is not just another headline. This is a development that could fundamentally change the entire landscape for how millions of everyday people invest in crypto. Here it is, the big one. The SEC has officially given the green light to the Bitwise 10 Crypto Index ETF. What does that mean? It means a diversified crypto fund is about to start trading on a major U.S. stock exchange, the NYSE Arca. This is huge. Okay, so what in the world is a crypto index ETF? Well, the easiest way to think about it is this. It's like an S&P 500 index fund, but for crypto. So instead of trying to pick individual winners and losers, which is super hard, you can just buy one thing, one share, and instantly own a piece of the top 10 crypto assets all at once. It's basically one-stop shopping for crypto, right in your normal brokerage account.
So why is this one single approval such a massive deal? Well, for a few reasons. For starters, it just tears down huge barriers for the average person who's maybe been crypto curious. It makes it so much easier to get in. You get instant diversification, which lowers your risk. It also gives the whole industry this huge stamp of legitimacy from Wall Street. But honestly, the most important part, it opens the floodgates for potentially billions, with a B, of new mainstream money to pour into the market. So yeah, don't underestimate this. It's a really big deal.
Okay, so we've got a rebounding Bitcoin, we've got altcoins doing their own thing, and now we have a game-changing ETF approval. It's a lot to take in, right? So how do you make sense of it all? Well, let's cut through all that noise. Here are the key signals you absolutely need to be watching. So think of these as your personal dashboard for the next week or so. Number 1, Bitcoin. Can it hold that $84,000 level? Is this a real floor or just a temporary bounce? Number 2, the ETH to BTC ratio. Does Ethereum stop the bleeding against Bitcoin or does it keep falling? Number 3, altcoin volume. Does that trading frenzy on exchanges like Binance keep going, or do traders run back to the safety of Bitcoin? And finally, number 4, ETF inflows. We have to watch how much actual money flows into this new Bitwise fund. The answers to these 4 questions, they're going to tell you everything you need to know about where this market's headed next. And look, as you're processing all of this, just try to remember this one thing. In a market this contradictory and confusing, the goal isn't to be a fortune teller. Nobody can perfectly predict the future. The real edge, the real opportunity, comes from just deeply understanding all the different forces that are pulling and pushing the market right now. Which, of course, leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? With these institutional products finally arriving, and with altcoins clearly decoupling and doing their own thing, are we watching the beginning of the end for Bitcoin's total dominance? Or is this the start of something much bigger, a new, broader bull market that's going to lift all the boats? That's the puzzle every single one of us in this space has to try and solve now. Thanks for joining the breakdown.